Hello everyone, this is Anna from Cat Realty, and today I'm going to talk to you about GERêS. For those of you who don't know, Cat Realty is a buyer and relocation agency that specializes in helping expats relocate to Portugal from visa to actually settling, including renovations and constructions. You feel free to take a look at how we operate on our website www.savvycatrealty.com. So, like I was saying, today I am going to talk to you a bit about GERêS. And GERêS is an absolutely breathtaking mountain location in Portugal. And even if you don't want to go and live in the mountains, I definitely recommend to go there and spend at least a weekend, because it's the most relaxing place you'll ever find. And you know, the air and the energy there is just something else. So GERêS is in the far north of Portugal, right glued to Spain, on the top end of the country, and it is a very big nature reserve with virgin forests, and it has a lot of water sources and rivers going through, which makes it absolutely gorgeous. You have a number of waterfalls and beautiful rivers and water just springing out of the stones, plus the amazing virgin forest with these old trees that you can just tell that have been there for hundreds of years, and you still get to have that completely pure fresh air. It's just really, really gorgeous. If you want to have a house in a mountain, this is definitely a good place to go. On the most popular destination around the main barrage and lagoon, the prices are a bit inflated, so between 3 and 6k per square meter, because it's definitely one of those rich people vacation destinations, especially those higher demand areas. On the side of the reserve itself, because you have from a certain part you have the reserve area, and when it comes to reserve area you actually can't build there. However, the construction that has already been made, it can be recovered and used as any kind of habitation as long as it is pre-existing. So that is one of the characteristics of a reserve area. However, around the bottom of the area in Vieira do Minho and Montalegre and all around that area, you are still able to find a lot of property with no restrictions regarding the reservation area, and the prices are definitely very attractive. So on the most popular destinations around with riverfront and lagoon front and so on, these prices are a bit higher. In the more interior mountain, even inside the reservation and so on, you can expect between 2 and 3k. In the bottom area and around the GERêS, so we are talking Vieira do Minho and Montalegre and Terras de Boro and more those areas, you can expect prices between 1500, 2k maybe per square meter. And if you move a bit further, more interior and, you know, more down towards the Montalegre side, or even more towards Chaves and so on, you can even go lower, and prices start even going below 1k per square meter. Of course, in regards to accesses, you definitely have to be ready to go through the mountainy, swirly roads all around in order to reach your destination. They are definitely very scenic, but you know, gas prices in Portugal are rather expensive. Actually, I have some clients that are going to just bought a house in those locations and they got themselves an electric car, so that's a good solution whether you can afford it. And if you enjoy driving and are okay to being a bit further away from you know, cities and bigger locations, it is definitely a very, very interesting place. So the biggest city that you have closer to this location is Braga, and it is between 40 minutes, half an hour to an hour distance, depending on where in the reserve and around GERêS you want to go. In Braga you have everything. You have private hospital, public hospital, all kinds of services. You have the train line that goes all down to Algarve. So from Braga you can pretty much get everywhere. And in Braga you also have a lot of cultural activity. And it's a very pleasant city. I already did a video about Braga. You can check it out here. So today I'm going to focus more on the mountainside and GERêS side, which is a very, very scenic destination. You can see by the pictures and videos, it's absolutely lovely. You have some villages more in the middle of the reserve, and they actually mostly fully renovated because, like I said, they are very popular. It's gorgeous. And almost all of the houses that you go through by in the reservation are really nicely renovated, and you can still see that they kept the stone exteriors and all of that, even though it's kind of hard to reach there. The main village in the GERêS area, it's literally called Vila do GERêS. It's actually a hot spring, and you do have a lot of health tourism in that area. I remember going there with my aunt to go to the hot springs, so that's definitely a thing. The village is a bit further up, so you have the main lagoon in the bottom, and then you have to drive about 10 minutes up in order to get to the village. You still have a lot of water coming down all around you, and the prices are high, but not very high. They are high for, given it's in the middle of nowhere, so to say, but they are not extremely high, and you do have, you know, services and restaurants, definitely a lot of tourism. You still have a public pool. You have some apartments and mostly villas and houses, and some palaces. There's actually a lovely palace right in the middle that is falling apart. That is just a shame. You could definitely do a really nice charm hotel there. But oh well, sometimes those things here in Portugal, it's very common for inheritances to be passed down, and it just gets to a point that, you know, there's too many people involved and you can't do anything, or even that there are no inheritors and then the state has to wait a period to see if anyone claims it, and only after that it becomes property of the state. So that can be a common problem here in Portugal when it comes to old property. And it can be a nightmare to track down the owners of places. So that's one of the problems here in Portugal. But I was talking to you a bit about the Vila do GERêS, so it's a very nice mountainy location. Regarding temperature, in the summertime, you actually have pretty high temperatures. You don't often get to like 40 degrees because it's in the mountains and, you know, have shade and temperature control and, you know, trees doing their job. But you often get to like 30-35 degrees, and there's definitely tourism around riverside beaches and lagoons for the summertime and so on, and recreational boat trips and all those kinds of things. And in the winter you occasionally get snow, but it's not very often. I actually stopped and chat for a while with a lovely craftsman that this is also not sponsored, but it was just gorgeous because this is a generational store that it was started by the father of this gentleman, and we are talking already about an elderly gentleman, and now he's also has taught his kids, and his son is also doing the works, and they do these lovely crafts and art pieces really with wood, and they are just selling it at such low prices. I was shocked in a way because they were just selling it so cheap, and it was such a high quality woodwork. So if you go by GERêS, definitely to stop in this craft store artisanat. The picture is going to show, because it's just so lovely, and it's just one of those those local crafts and stores that I definitely think it's worth going by. So I think this more or less covers the wonders of GERêS. You have quite a few smaller locations around GERêS. So you have the top in the GERêS, Vila do GERêS. Then down the bottom you have the lagoon area that also have, it's mostly tourism and restaurants, but there's some private properties and alojamentos locais. That's actually an interesting thing. There aren't a lot of hotels in the GERêS area, especially not a lot of high-end hotels, but you will find a lot of alojamentos locais and local lodgings and kind of albergues and those kind of small things. It still was a location that wasn't too overthrown by tourists. It has been more and more discovered by tourists, but there's definitely an opportunity when it comes to tourism. I think there is not a lot. There's some high-end hotels, but they sell out very fast, especially in the high season. I went there to recently, a week ago more or less, to offer, it was my mother's birthday trip. We went a weekend to GERêS, and I was trying to book some nicer hotel and none of them was available, and I booked like 2 weeks ahead. Yeah, here in Portugal we don't do a lot of ahead planning, so but yes, the nice hotels were all fully booked, and we were talking about early June, so it's not super high season yet. And I think there's definitely a business opportunity here for people wanting to explore, 4-star and 5-star hotels. It is a gorgeous location, and I think there is more demand than offer for it, and not a lot of offer on the higher end of the tourism spectrum. You do have a few really nice hotels around it and so on. But like I said, they don't have a lot of spots and get fully booked quite fast. So this more or less covers the GERêS area. It is gorgeous. Even if you don't want to live in the mountains, definitely go and visit it. If you do wish to live in the mountains, come and talk to us. And we work with both rentals and purchases. For rentals, you can purchase the packages directly on our website at savvycatrealty.com. For purchases, we support in the whole relocation process, from visa to renovations and construction, and we verify everything from a legal and technical point of view, plus do all the support on the field and help you network to settle here in Portugal. And you do need to schedule an initial advisory call to me in order to start our purchase services. We do have packages. You can check them out on our website on the buying section of our service offers. And the initial call with me has a cost. However, that cost is deducted from our package cost if you do go forward to working with us. And I do provide advice tailored to you and help as much as possible. Whether or not you decide to move forward to work with us, I'm sure it will be very helpful in your relocation consideration process. So this is all about GERêS. Definitely go and visit it because it is so gorgeous, and I hope that I hear some of you that you want to go there to live. If you do have any comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them below on the comments. We will come back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all again soon. Bye!